I know that is you. Okay? So I'm honored to be here. Thank you for your leadership. God, thank you all for stay together and march today for the Bible, for Xavier, for Moses. March today for them. Let's not forget like I do. So when people sit and talk about what are we doing, we can say well, we're doing it for Tavion, Moses. Okay? So thank you.
Let's get a photo in real fast and like we can start off
the excuse me. What's up, Rev?
Oh yeah.
I'm fine, there you go.
Lord.
One, two, three. One, two, three. Got it.
I miss your face.
Mic check. Mic check. Can we please get everybody that's here for the Enough is Enough March? Can you guys please conjugate to the center right here, please? Can you guys do me a favor? Please get away from the grass area. Can we get everybody on the concrete right here? So, thank you very much. Can we get all speakers and performers at the front? To come out today. We're leaving so, there's a lot of time for you. Please make sure like people know about this event. If you have us on Facebook, this you. So real fast, I'm gonna ask everybody like stop moving around, stop your conversations. Please attention here to stop taking photos. The first thing we're gonna start doing is we're gonna start off with the prayer. We want to make sure that we humble our hearts. We want to make sure that we're all centered and we're all here for the same mission, same purpose. Thank you for all the youth that came out here today as well. I'm sorry for your pain. I might have my frat brother, my mentor, Lamont Shan. I cook you. Thank you.
All because there's one superior being. If you your head, and I take off any head garment if you're a male. Heavenly Father, we come once lamenting out to you, crying out to you, Father, for the lives, Father. We ask that you just for us, be moved. Ask that you will just come into each and every one of the homes that is represented out here, Father, and give them blessings and not curses, Father. We ask that you would just reunite us on one front, Father, and that's the front of love, Father. We ask that you help our public officials and our government officials, Father, that they will be on one accord and that objectivity
in my fellow kids in the far northeast don't get HBCU exposure, but it was Miss Johnson that like took like the initiative to make sure they get that exposure. So thank you, Miss Johnson. What is it? Denver 5280. Thank you. Rise 5280. Thank you very much. I also want to give a big shout out as well. And I want to say thank you to Terrence Robert. I want to give a shout out to Jason McBride as well for all the work they do in the community. Thank you very much. I want to give. I also want to give a shout out to Moms Demand Action. We want to make sure we acknowledge as well Favor. Thank you very much for support, Cheryl. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Portia Terrell's out there. She's thank you, Portia. I want to give a shout out also as well to the police department. Even though like a lot of times our relationship with the police is shaky and everything, they've tried to somewhat to stay out the way, to making sure that like this is a youth-led like event. And so thank you for taking the step back and just thank you. And but even then, I also want to make sure we acknowledge Mayor Hancock for coming out, for the elected officials that came out. Thank you to Stacey Gilmore's office for coming out as well too. Once again, as young youth, we need elected officials making sure we hear our voices because we have all this passion, we have all this fire and everything, but we need the community. We need elected officials making sure they support, they recognize the youth that are doing the work to make sure this happens. But real fast, I want to give a big shout out to Organic 5 as well. Kia, this is the third event that has helped us with sound and everything. He does it for free. Thank you very much, Kia. Like this is what community looks like when people in the community are willing to give up their time, give up skill, make also give a big shout out to amplifythevoice.com. Thank you. And so I wanted to start off this overall event, right? And I want to start off at the moment a second, because even as I speak, my heart aches. Even as I look into the crowd, tears are falling in my eyes, because just like the community, I feel the pain. And so please, can we just take a 30-second moment of silence? Thank you. So I graduated from Noel Community Arts High School here in Montbello. Being a student of Montbello, right? I had aspirations of going to Howard University because I wanted to come back and I wanted to advocate for my community. I wanted to fight for young people in Montbello. I wanted to make sure their voice was heard. I wanted to make sure they weren't forgotten, because a lot of times from the education system to the young people in Montbello, they're forgotten. They don't get their next position. They don't get the support that they need in order to thrive. And yes, we blame them for a lot of the situations that are in our communities. And so I came back for winter break this summer, and my little brother was telling me about how one of his classmates got shot. Also, I'm talking to my sister. She's telling me how there's a shooting by Falcon Park, which is 3 blocks away from my house. In the middle of the night, my little brother is 7 years old. He comes up to me, "Peter, did you hear the 3 gunshots outside?" It's not okay that there's so much violence in our community, that the violence in our community is normalized, that every day we go through our lives, we acknowledge that tomorrow is not guaranteed for our youth. We talk about living the future to our youth and everything, and yeah, our youth are getting picked off one by one, one by one. My peers are getting picked off one by one by one. Our classmates are getting picked off one by one by one. So community asks, what are we doing to address this? A lot of times we have a lot of organizations, the community doing work to support the community. So I ask also as well, like these organizations are out there, how do you empower youth voice? How do you put youth at the forefront of the solutions when it comes to youth issues and everything? 10 for 10 is a youth-led organization, and yes, I asked, like humbly speaking, I asked that all these organizations that are here, that while you're making your strategic plan and everything, while you're doing the work that you feel is necessary to address the community, to fix the issues in the community when working with young people, please include young people in the conversation. We need you guys to come out. We need you guys to come out to events like this, to rallies like this, to have conversations with young people about what they need in order to be better citizens in our community. We need conversations about not necessarily what you think is best, but what youth actually need. We need you guys to march behind us and support us, because at the end of the day, it's youth that are getting affected by this violence. And this violence has been taking place for so long, and youth that for so long have been excluded from this conversation about how do we end the trauma in our community. And yet it's the youth that receive this trauma over and over and over and over again. Doesn't make sense to include youth in the conversation so the trauma isn't there anymore. So that's my big ask from you guys today. Please, whenever you're out here, when you're marching with us, think about the youth in our community. Think about like the trauma, think about the pain that they're going through, and think about what you're doing to help relieve that pain. Not what you think is best, but what they actually need. So that comes from having those conversations. That comes from stepping back, putting your ego aside, and thinking about, oh, these youth are the most important things for in our community. My dad talks about being a father. He's no longer an individual because he's a slave to the youth. He's a slave to his kids, and parents are laughing because that's true. When we talk about it takes a village, right? It takes a village, and so I'm asking that you guys be slaves to our youth, be slaves to us, because at the end of the day, we talk about this future is only possible. This future is gonna be great if the youth are responsible for building, picking up the bricks and building them up with the support of the elders. So thank you very much for coming out. We appreciate you guys again. Thank you.
All right, everybody. My name is Samuel Elfe. I was born in Seattle, raised here in Aurora. I wanted to speak to y'all real quick because I'm a living testimony to what support from the community looks like. And if we all are here together, this is what a kid could possibly do in his life. So for me personally, I'm gonna make it brief, but I had a rough childhood. My mother, my uncle, and was off crack. I grew up with a little brother who had Down syndrome. It was just me and my pops. So with that being said, I got into a lot of trouble growing up. Basketball, and I got injured. So with that being said, I moved to Seattle, hoping that my dad moving me out there, hoping that I could change my life. And with that being said, I just got into more trouble. Ended up actually catching a case. I was heavily impacted by the gang culture. And with that being said, I ended up getting kicked out the state of Washington and getting put into a program out here. Now, I know what we know about programs, but I was actually introduced to Jason McBride, who's here in the crowd right now. If you could raise your hand real quick, Jason. So with that being said, I had the support from Jason, not just the organization, not just some nonprofit, but I had the support from Jason, right? And he take me every day with him. He showed me the problems in my community. He showed me what's going on, the social injustice, but also what our youth are facing. Youth that live the same life style that I did or that want to go. So with that being said, um, it took moments for me. I had moments where I stumbled back. I had moments where I almost slipped back into the lifestyle. Um, but with that being said, I had that support always by my side. And ultimately, when we talk about the youth that are here right now, they need that support too. And it's going to take all of us coming together. And it's going to take us youth ultimately being on the front line and us youth that are here in the crowd right now to reach out to our homies, to our friends, because that's what my mentor was to me. He reached out to me. He made sure that I was always good. That I had somebody I can call on and who can call I know can call me. So with that being said, um, it's so much. It's not so much as just us getting money, or it's not so much as just us having enough workers. But ultimately, guys, it's going to take all of us together. And I'm telling you this now from a kid who's been in that lifestyle and who's here now today on the My Brother's Keepers board, who's meeting Barack Obama, Steph Curry, who's trying to do something in his community. So with that being said, y'all, I'm tired of the kids that are dying out here. Some of them I know. Some of them are friends. Some of them are friends of my friends. Some of them are just kids in our community. With that being said, we got to do something to stop it. And as much as we protest the social injustice and the police brutality, as much as we're able to march down those streets at the Capitol, we need to be able to fight in the justice and march in our community for the problems that we deal with. We have a gun from the we have a gun in our head from the from officers. We also have another gun from the brothers and sisters in our community. And until we realize that we need to take one gun off our head before we attack the other, we're still going to have that gun on our head. So with that being said, I want to give the opportunity for my peers to speak. But again, it's going to take all of us to come together and fight the fight in our community, also out in the capital and in America. So thank you.
Can I get hands up from all the mothers in the area, please? I want to say thank you because just like there's gardeners like water their plants and everything, mothers do the same thing for us youth. You guys push the community forward. You guys are the reason why we're strong. You guys are the reason why we're fed. So thank you to all the mothers out there. So as we speak, right, the next person coming up here is very special to me. The next person I hear is a mother. The next person I hear took the time because she wanted to share her experience and her story. So as she's speaking, I asked that we stop moving around. I asked that we actually take our heads and look forward and give her the respect, give her everything she deserves because she deserves love from the community. She deserves support from the community, but she also deserves your ear. We got to make sure we give this woman, this queen up here, a platform and our ears and our attention. Thank you, Miss Autumn Lawrence, please.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I first want to thank you guys for having me here. Just speaking with them today has been amazing. There's good vibes everywhere. These kids are amazing. So let me start off with me. My son was killed in Northfield. It will be a year on August 9th. He was only 14 years old. And it's starting to be a trend where we're seeing these children become younger and younger, his age. And it's seriously appalling. It shows that our community is in danger. We're children, our kids are supposed to be going to have any youth. We as a community seem to leave it up to everyone else to take care of. Here today, we have so much power within ourselves to fix this problem. We can help our fellow brothers and sisters. That's really what it is. These kids are seeing their mothers and fathers struggling, identifying with the next child, and going out there and wreaking havoc and losing their lives over this. But are we looking at that? Are we looking at ourselves and how we can help ourselves? This nation is built on building your bootstraps up, on I'm out for myself. But that's not what it's about. That's not what we came from. We come from tribes that supported each other. We're no longer a tribe. We could be gathering around and support each other and asking our sisters and brothers what it just takes the sheer compassion, because do not teach these children compassion when we're all about ourselves. Therefore, they go out there. They don't fully understand the consequences when they're pulling the trigger or they're on the receiving end of a bullet. It's something that you do not come back from. And as far as families go, we do not understand the impact that violence has on families. We do not understand the grief, the depression, the mental health that comes behind that, the financial strain. And we're not only talking about burying a child. You got to render. I'm a nurse. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for that. What mother wants to get up and go to work over the next few months? 10 years. It's been a year for me. But there's no community around me. 25. You got to get up every day. Think about your baby and keep it pushing, because you still got to take care of other things. I'm new here. What can I do? I'm new to this
right here. I got you, sister.
I got y'all's back.
Right. I'm new. I'm a nurse. I'm a whole nurse. I love Jesus. I got you. I work for the school system. I'll be here next year. Right. Come on now. I got you.
It's just us supporting each other like that. It's us doing it for each other. It's us coming to each other's house. How can I make you dinner?
Right.
I got a little bit of cash. What bill can I help you pay? They can stay at my house tonight. I can pick the kids up from school so you don't got to worry about them going home and being out here in these streets, potentially not coming home. Can I clean up your house? Do you see that? Do you see how easy this is? Do you see what you show your children when you show compassion for each other? They learn it from each other, and they no longer look at that person as their enemy. They look at that person as their friend. We are one body. One soul. I love y'all. I told y'all there was good vibes here tonight. Yes, ma'am. Yes. We're going to save our babies because our babies did someone else's life and strongly believe that. They died to fix our own community. Understand that. So support each other. Love each other. I love you. I love all of you. I love all of you. I want you to people. I can't. It's the first belief. Kindness. Have appreciation for yourself. Teach these kids how to appreciate themselves. You show by example, and you show by the acts that you do within your own community. I love y'all. Let's end this.
So up next, you guys saw her already. She spoke a little. She introduced herself, but she's also part of my team, and she's part of our team. And even as we're organizing the rights, even as we're organizing this, right, we too feel the pain. We too had connections with the kids that died, but we felt this was necessary because their names weren't necessarily being said in the news. Their names were forgotten. And it wasn't okay with us. And so even in our pain, we took the initiative to make sure this happened because we saw the value in it. And the person that probably felt the most pain in our team, but yes, she's here today speaking because she sees the value in this, is Nikki. So please get up for Nikki.
Hi, everybody. Hola a todos. I wrote my speech down because I might get emotional, so bear with me. I would not be doing this platform justice unless I shared a little bit about who I am and where I come from. I was born and raised in the central coast of Cali, California. I'm the only U.S. born in my family. I lived in a small town called Lompoc, where I grew up around gang and gun violence my whole life. I've had too many people I personally knew that have lost their lives to the streets. Multiple families I know that continue to weep tears because they have lost their babies to the streets. And numerous amounts of people in my community that are still to this day posting about losing another friend, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, cousin, daughter, son, grandkid, student, athlete, young leader, and many more titles that our youth are known for. I've been at a loss for words for a while now, and for many reasons specifically this year. Now I stand here today continuing to mourn and grieve as we lose multiple youth of our own community in the past couple weeks or so. This has hit home as I've actually also just recently lost 2 young friends of my own back in California in the past week as well. Families, friends, our community, our familia are losing loved ones due to gun and gang violence, and this needs to stop. We need to stop losing our young brothers and sisters. I've lost too many people due to this, and when I continue to hear us losing another one of our bright kids in the community, it gets hard to be hopeful for change. I mentor youth in the community, and this past week I took my girls to Davari Armstrong's vigil. Not only did I see pain, tears, brokenness in our community, but I also had to hug my own girls as they weep tears for losing yet another friend that they grew up with. We need change, y'all. We need it now. We need it yesterday. We don't need it tomorrow. We need it now. These marches and rallies give us a platform to address the community and speak up about change. But we cannot and will not make a change in our community unless we stack hands and be a part of the change. Then when you show up for these meetups and spend time and energy creating signs and or inviting loved ones to marches should be the same attitude and action step you are taking to show up for our youth in the community. This is our people we are losing, and this is our people that need us. The fight cannot stop with these platforms. The fight should not stop when the media no longer chooses to stream about the deaths in our community. The fight should not stop when t-shirts are no longer trending with sayings like BLM or I can't breathe or printed names of those we've lost. The fight should not stop when events like marches start to die down. You have no idea how much just showing up for our community can stir change. There are multiple ways to get plugged in to help change the stats and keep our babies, our young ones, and our youth safe, alive, and thriving. These kids are our future, and we can't afford to lose another one. We just cannot. For those here today that have lost loved ones, I cry with you, I grieve with you, and I stand with you in this fight. I have very few pleas for you all. I ask that you take care of yourself in the process. We cannot forget that pain, trauma, and hurt needs to be addressed in our community. My speech is not just a speech to address those that have personally experienced loss due to gun or gang violence. It's also a call for our community to step up. Community, I urge you to walk away from this event thinking about how to get plugged in. I urge you to find ways to support communities and meet the needs of our youth. I urge you to find ways where you can use your gift set to uplift the community. I ask that you go home and write a list of ways you can break the chain of hopelessness in our community. I ask that you care about our community and that you take action steps for your community. Let's not forget the power we hold. Mi gente and my people, let's make change happen now. Thank you.
So one of the things I'm intentional about, we're intentional about, is like when you come over here, yes, like we're grieving, yes, we're mourning, but we're also honoring the people that passed in our community. We're also trying to heal each other, and that's why we like, because like, healing comes when we come together and like just hear each other out. But we also, there's a power in music, and there's power in like honoring people with the music, and so we just wanted to give Raquel the platform to honor people that passed through music. Thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm Raquel, and this song just goes out to anyone who's lost someone. We know that there wouldn't be tomorrow, no birds will sing, but you've already reached the light, your new beginning. Chapters are written out for you. We're down here hurting from a broken heart, trying to figure out how this is real, 'cause they're never coming back down. They belong to the stars in the clouds. Goodbyes. B is all for you. Real love will power through. Can I look at the phone real quick? Yeah. I'm gonna start over if y'all don't mind. Technical difficulties.
Come back later.
No birds will sing, but the bells will ring for you. So far to go, but you've already reached the light, your new beginning. Chapters are written out for you. Down here we're hurting from a broken heart, trying to figure out how this is real, 'cause you're never coming back down. You belong to the stars in the clouds. I'm gonna do it without me. Goodbyes, good times, LOV is all for you. If you didn't say your goodbyes, don't worry, love will power through. 'Cause they're never coming back down. They belong to the stars in the clouds. How can we grow if you're not moving with us constantly, dark? Time will move in our favor. They'll never know, but they just keep asking when. We're down here hurting from a broken heart, trying to figure out how this is real, 'cause you're never coming back down. You belong to the stars in the clouds. Goodbyes, good times, LOV is all for you. If you didn't say your goodbyes, don't worry, love will power through. I'm sorry that I never replied, but how was I to know this could be our last goodbye? We can't look at the world with tears in our eyes. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Just think of the good times you've left behind. L-O-V with all of you. Whoa. If you didn't say your goodbyes, don't worry, laugh, we'll power through. No, 'cause you're never coming back down. You belong to stars in the clouds.
Can we hear it one more time? Please give it up. I want to hear it louder. Come on. You put the heart out of the mic. I hate seeing my peers cry more than anything because we got to look out for each other, and she's crying because she lost a friend. So, please, once again, as we're here today, that like none of us should be crying because we lost a friend, because we lost a kid at 17 years old. None of us should be crying because we lost a 14-year-old or 15-year-old, like to do the gun violence, the gang violence. This is not okay. We can't let it be normal. So real fast, I want to bring up Terrence Straub right here because once again we talk about like the elders in our community and people that are doing work to support the youth, and so Terrence has been doing that work to support the youth in gang violence, advocating for Elijah McClain, but also making sure that like as youth we're organizing and we have a platform to lead. So you, Terrence.
It's not too often I get called an elder, but I guess I got to get used to it. Organizing with Peter and them. Can we give them a round of applause one more time, please, for the youth? This is not about Terrence Roberts right now. I get plenty of airtime. We are at almost 50 murders. That's just in Denver alone. That's not even including the metro area. If we keep this up, we can have over 100 homicides this year. If we keep having weeks like we just had these past few weeks, everybody who gets killed is a youth to me because they died too soon. Okay? Makes no sense that we have children that are 14 and 15 years old getting murdered, getting shot to death. Where are these kids even picking up these guns? Okay? I'm an ex-gang member myself. I've been shot a couple of times, more than once. I'm a victim of gun violence. I'm also a perpetrator of gun violence too, to survive in the inner city of Denver. I was shot in my back. I was paralyzed in the summer of violence of 1993. That was 27 years ago. 27 years. Do you know since 1985, we've been dealing with gang homicides in Denver? That's 35 years. Every summer we go through this. Every summer we have these marches. Every summer. That's my cousin Sherry right there. My cousin, LK, was murdered. That was her son. Okay? Last year, my birthday is August 9th. The first phone call I got on my birthday last year was my daughter's mother crying to me, and she couldn't get it out saying Autumn's son, Aiden, had been murdered. And she was asking me if I knew anything about it. And I couldn't believe her. I'm like, Aiden is a little boy. What are you talking about? She's like, he's dead. I'm like, no, he's not. He's a kid. He's a little kid too. But he was murdered in Northfield. We've had thousands of homicides in the metro area since 1985. Thousands of them. Most of them youth related. Not 20. We've had 20 in a month. We've had thousands of youth homicides in Denver since the 80s. We've had hundreds of marches. We've had thousands of funerals, thousands of more kids incarcerated in the Colorado Department of Corrections. Like Adam said, It's not just the shooting victim. What about the mother? What about the little brother of the murder victim? What about the big brother? What about the sister? What about the lady that got murdered on? What about the block? What about the police who have to respond? We cover it. This is very dramatic. Keep getting them talking about you, but from the police department, not here to blame the police. Black youth, brown youth are dealing with gang homicide, police aggression, depression, homelessness, anxiety, violence, drug abuse. I just lost who was like my little brother to drug abuse not too long ago, about a month ago. We gotta do something for these youth. My growing up in Park Hill was hanging out behind Scott. Now it's called Hiawatha Rec Center with about this many bloods every day. No, there's no young mayor. There were no young black police officers to mentor us. By 18-year-old damaged and tired youth, they were home youth and had enough power to tell this many youth more power than 39-year-old in my community, 19-year-old. More power than and we make activism, and we work crib, and we losing the issue to survive the crib. And activists are as tough and as organized as us in Crips. You're gonna lose another Terrence. You're gonna lose another Sam to the streets. It's a war zone out here if you're a young black or brown man, even if you're a poor white kid and you're hanging with these youth. You young ladies are getting killed too. Young ladies getting killed just as much as these young men. The time is now. Y'all know I'm always on that. I've been saying that 15 years. I can honestly say the time is right now. All right? If we don't get some programming for this, I believe in programming. Say me 100%.